I... Dude, I look swole. Yeah. Yeah. I can't tell if it makes me look bigger or not. There we go. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. This is the best thing I've ever accidentally done. All right. Let's get some copium.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. This is probably the last day, the final day.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I get it.
To actually do something. I'm recording this on January 5th, and so of course you're going to see it on January 6th. And so
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I think he did that on purpose. He never does that. He has never said that before.
today is the fateful day of the Electoral College certification process in Washington. And of course, no matter what happens, one thing that we know for sure is
it's gonna be. He's gonna. I wish I could bet on things. He's going to. Ooh, man! I bet he did not record this yesterday. I just bet he did not.
the fight's not over, and the fight's not over because I doubt the president is going to give up regardless of the outcome. I honestly don't think the president ever really will concede. Regardless of what happens, he's probably going to be tweeting on Twitter, unleashing in the media, and fighting this thing in the courts till well after 2021.
Tweeting on Twitter. With which part? Just this guy's video in general? Because he basically just said he recorded it the day before. I mean, it's possible. But, like, most of his other videos, he addresses things in the video that happened, like, that day sometimes. So it's odd. But, I mean, who knows? It's weird, though, that he never mentioned that before. Yeah, he mentioned that. He's like, oh, I recorded this video on the 5th. Like, so you're not going to hear it until the 6th. Like, to sort of be like, I don't know. I have two suspicions. One, he actually didn't, and he already had the script written, and he didn't want to have to change it. Two, he's trying to make it seem like he's way more accurate than he is. We'll see.
And you know what? I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. Republicans are absolute cowards. The GOP is filled with a bunch of cowards. Now, most of their perspective is,
My, how the turntables.
oh, we haven't seen any
Yeah, some shit like that.
proof. The cases have been thrown out by state Supreme Court and the Supreme Court as well, and so there mustn't be any there. To which, okay, if that's your perspective, you might be right on that. But that's not the whole story here. There's a lot more to fight than whether the state's constitution or the American Constitution was disregarded.
No, dude, no. You just, I mean, what? How, explain to me, riddle me this. How can you, as a human being, like, say that, be like, oh yeah, I mean, you know, if literally there's no evidence, all of the courts in the land have said that this case does not hold water, and I mean, if you want to believe that, I mean, be my guest, but like, if you were smart, you wouldn't. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is beyond coping. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? Because that's not what all the lawsuits, well, no. All the lawsuits were about that because it was the only thing that they could go at. And they were only hoping to delay it. And I really don't think that Giuliani thought, or anybody else in the legal team thought, that every judge was pretty much going to flick that shit immediately. Like, literally immediately. Sometimes it takes weeks or whatever, but they were just like, no. They were like sticky hands fucking blocking that shit.
In some of these battleground states, there's a bigger picture here, a bigger story.
Wrong
and this
scene.
is the piece that the GOP is so absolutely short-sighted in going after. The system is rigged, and it doesn't necessarily have to be rigged within a precinct or a county, a local election, a general election. None of that matters. The system is rigged from the fundamental perspective of culture, media, and tech companies.
You see, the system is rigged because more people are Democrats. How the fuck are we supposed to have a fair election if more people are Democrats? You don't play football with more people on one team than the other, right? And that's what this is. It's football. It's exactly the same as a sport. Even in the way that the people sitting on the fucking couch watching it who didn't give a shit about it a year ago, all of a sudden know all the rules. It's exactly the same thing.
That's
the teams aren't fair, you see. That's the problem.
greater battle to fight, and that's the battle that I will continue to fight on this channel till they put me 6 feet under.
Like, yeah, the videos, the ones that prove either they're rigged to not register or the ones that say that they prove that somebody, he's like, the one that Trump said himself out loud today where he was like we all saw that the water main story was fake. And as soon as everybody left, they ran over and got a bunch of boxes of ballots and scanned them each 3 times. It's like, listen, you can't say that somebody's doing a whole conspiracy that involves the scale that it involves that you're accusing it of, and then suggest that they would still do it legitimately up until that point. Like they would literally do the easiest thing you could do if you wanted to get caught. Like when you cheat a slot machine, you don't wait for it to already be at a payout and then like cut in line. Like that's not how you would cheat a slot machine. You would get a device that like flashes a light bulb at some fucking detector in there and then they can't catch you, you see. Like a worldwide or a nationwide conspiracy where every single Democrat is in on it doesn't really jive with somebody still using the fucking paper ballots and then just scanning them 3 times instead. Like some last minute sitcom idea of what is going to happen in an election fraud case. Like it doesn't fucking work that way.
And so for this video, I'm going to update you guys on everything that's going on when it comes to the fight on January 6th. Of course, I'm going to rant once again about the true election interference, which I've already started to get into. We're going to go after the GOP. We're just going to talk about the election in general. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a breaking Trump campaign more that were being filed. It's a lawsuit was thrown out. I told you. Lawsuit. No, so far.
Lawsuit.
Out of the way. Let's. All right, folks. So this is probably the biggest news so remix. Far. We do, in fact, have a new lawsuit. Now, of course, after the Texas mega lawsuit was thrown out, I told you there was going to be a ton more that were being filed. It's happened multiple times since then, and of course, it's still going.
One time.
Trump campaign launches new lawsuit to decertify Georgia election results. The Trump campaign filed a new lawsuit.
Look. It says the lawsuit was rejected yesterday. Hold on. Lawsuit, Georgia. Oh, wait. Wait, no. Yeah, that's good. Get updated. Where'd it go? They filed an, God damn it. Where is it, dude? Okay. It was yesterday. Look, man. That's almost proof that he was foofing the date. Damn it. Oh, shit. I hit the wrong scene like 6 times. Look. So this lawsuit that it says right there was rejected yesterday. Where did the fucking window go, dude? If I remembered how to computer real quick. It was rejected Tuesday morning. So remember how I said that he was saying something about the date was sus? The lawsuit was rejected yesterday. Today, the date is yesterday, but that's the same day that he made the video or allegedly he made the video on Monday, I think, or yesterday. Maybe he added that to the video before he posted it. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Maybe I'm the asshole on that one. I mean, at least that doesn't prove what I thought.
On New Year's Eve in an attempt
I just
to
had to
force Georgia to
had to work it out in my head.
certify the election results in that state. This complaint came just after the Washington Post released leaked audio of a phone call between President Trump and Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger.
Is he
in
mad
which
that it
Trump
leaked?
tried to get to the bottom of the election discrepancies stemming from the November 3rd general election.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened on that phone call, you fucking lunatic. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Trump definitely just tried to get to the bottom of things by going, look, I just want you to find 11,000, how many? 11,780 votes. That's more. That's one more than we need, or than we have. But we have more. We have more. I just need those to show up. You know what I mean? It'd be very unfortunate, and your lawyer would be a very big, dumb, bad lawyer if that didn't happen. That's exactly what the phone call said. Not verbatim. I may have ad-libbed a little bit here and there, but that was essentially the point. Him saying that call was getting to the bottom of things is among the funniest fucking things that he has come up with to make himself feel better, or rather, that he's come up with to generate more views. So on that front, kudos. Sir, my hat is off to you on that, because it's working way better than whatever I'm doing. Why didn't that play?
Election. Trump has accused Georgia of violations of their own elections code and
Oh,
of
you're good.
violations of due process. The complaint reads that these violations were achieved through the ignoring of express directions regarding the collection, handling, processing, canvassing, and counting of absentee ballots and the improper certification of election.
Dude, okay. Is it that hard to like actually understand that is a stupid fucking complaint, dude? Okay. I'm going to try to like start from the beginning and simplify the idea. Like, the lawsuit alleged that the people responsible for the election in Georgia as a state, which is part of the Constitution, like the structure by which we vote, fucking, that the violations were achieved through the ignoring of express directions regarding the collection, handling, processing, canvassing, and counting of absentee ballots, and the improper, like, the Trump administration, the president of the United States, is fucking trying to sue the Georgia Elections Commission, I think, for not following their own directions. Like, it's so far removed from how you would actually point this out. Like, what party in the fucking lawsuit could even be presumed by a reasonable person to have the knowledge by which the committee, because previous lawsuits had stated that they didn't let people in to observe the fucking process either, like in the first place. So, like, how the fuck could they bring a lawsuit being like, well, we know that they ignored these express directions, whatever, express directions implying that they were directions given in a recent period. So, like, maybe guidance given by the Trump administration. I don't think that's what it was, but it'd be interesting as fuck if that was the case. Whatever it was, they threw it out because that's a bullshit complaint, dude. That's a completely bullshit complaint. Of course they threw it out. Also, I keep hitting the wrong button. I need to move. So I have these labels on my keys on my media controller that I use to operate my scenes. And I reassigned the buttons, but not the actual labels. The important bit.
Results. The filing reads that Trump does not seek a remedy disenfranchising any lawful votes. Rather, he asked the court to uphold the rule of law and the important segregation of powers principles in the Georgia Constitution, executive versus legislature, which are fundamentally intended to protect all voters in the country, according to Fox News.
What does that mean? I don't know who that is, but I'm down. I don't know. I've been trying to find people to like interact with, because I feel like I gotta, as much as I'm good at ranting into shit by myself, I feel like I'd be pretty good at having a conversation with somebody too. What the fuck was I saying before that? Oh yeah. But if that person streams or YouTubes or anything, drop their shit in the chat. I think you should be able to. I mean, you're a mod. Oh shit! Yeah. No, 100%. I do. I for some reason I did not assume that's who you were talking about. No, and it was funny because my other hang up was going to be if I have chemistry with that person, and it's funny because we actually did this little what do you call it skit back in the day. I got hung up on the name of it because it didn't age well, but I mean for me to be able to say it. But yeah, that was kind of fun. We had a lot of chemistry. We hung out a lot for a while when I was hanging out with like Will and shit too. And I'm sure I went over there on occasion. She used to have this rad fucking greenhouse. But yeah. That'd be dope. I will try to reach out to her about that. Ah, got the right one this time. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So here's one of the vagaries that really fucks me up about this whole conversation with the election fraud is, aside from the one I just named or addressed, they keep stressing they do not seek a remedy disenfranchising lawful votes because they're implying that they are, what they're trying to do is be allowed to decide which votes were legal and which weren't. That's the objective of the lawsuit. It's not actually to find voter fraud. They're trying to imply the court or compel the court to allow them to make the decision or somebody that they put there. It's insane. Yeah, dude. She's fucking, I don't know. I got a lot of respect and just good, I think very highly of her. I'll say that. Wait, there we go.
News. The election in Georgia was certified on December 7th and was after a recount that was asked for by the Trump campaign. Since then, Raffensperger spoke out against Trump's assertion that the election in the state was stolen. On Monday, Gabriel Sterling went through each allegation against the state in detailed ways in which they had been disproven. Trump visited Georgia on
Yeah. Like you just said it out loud.
Monday night, on the eve of the contentious senatorial election that will determine which party controls the U.S. Senate, said point blank that the election was, quote, rigged, and that he fully believed that he had won.
No, it's like only half your fault. Like you mentioned it, and then I was unable to hop back on the bike before it stopped and fell over. I had to pick it back up again. That part's on me.
In Georgia, he also said in 18 months, at the end of Georgia Governor Brian Kemp's term in office, he would be back to campaign against the incumbent Republican. Trump asked for an expedited hearing on the new complaint and for the appeals to be submitted by January 6th. January 6th is the day that the Electoral College votes are up for certification in the House and Senate. Over 140 House Republicans have said that they will not certify the results. Of course, we know the rest of this story.
But you see, even before the siege on the Capitol, there were not that many in opposition. But after that, oh man, after that, they clearly have changed their mind so fucking quick. That is my favorite thing that's happened today. Like it's an awful place that has put the country in. But watching the people that were never supposed to be a problem for the government, who they thought that they were getting all of their support from, watching them absolutely terrify the fucking politicians that lean on them to relay their message in a very crude and brash and destructive and violent way, as Trump supporters always do. And that's what politicians use them as a vehicle for. They don't understand that, but their loudness is the only thing that gets the support of the politicians. It's because people are fucking scared of them and don't want to deal with like a group of Trump supporters. You see, because they know that they won't be called on their bullshit, and they'll get all kinds of support no matter what they do. To watch them be afraid of the monsters they created, that was a fucking treat, to say the least. It was not the violence part, but the watching Senate just be like, oh shit. After that vote, like when they did the vote when they came back and every single one of them was like, no, we realize now this is a little bit too far. Because now we're in danger. Literally, we are in physical danger from the thing that we did that everybody accused us of doing and called us out on doing, but couldn't convince anyone that was going to happen. I wonder how many more regular Trump supporters ended up getting shaken out by the events of today. Yeah, right? It's like it's funny too. It's really funny because I think the difference is that the people that say eat the rich on Twitter, they all kind of know the odds that we face in like a one-on-one confrontation with the fucking Capitol building. And it's kind of just funny that it went the way that it did because like they were also the only group that could get away with it. Like from the cops, right? But not the Senate. The Senate, they did that to them and they were like, yo, holy shit. The cops and everybody else is so used to stopping the real eat the rich leftist folks on Twitter. Like they're used to that being the enemy. Oh my God, I don't know. It's so dynamic. But yeah, that's a good point. That they're the ones that ended up going full revolution. And like if you ever wanted to look at one of these extremely like online leftists that's like, I don't know, man. I just think that actual armed violent revolution is probably a good idea. I mean, I feel like I could do it. Like, just show them what happened today. That was like the cops not even really like. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, dude, you really. It's like, why? I mean, even if we did do that and we overtook the Capitol building, like, now we're in charge of all that. I don't know how much better that would be. I think it's better to try to at least keep intact the one rope, the single rope that is left on this fucking bridge that we're on right now, rather than cut it off just to spite everybody else. And I think that the events of today absolutely proved that that's the case, and because they showed exactly what's going to happen. Because now the messaging around the whole like extremist groups shit is gonna get real fucking hard to maintain. It's gonna get real fucking hard to maintain the whole like, oh, fucking Antifa, BLM and Antifa, they're dangerous. Like people are trying to defend it, like, oh, they didn't loot, they didn't burn down cities. Curious. Like, hey, dog. I mean, if you want to be literally insane and act like they're the same thing at all, sure, but you don't get to not get called insane because that is insane. Officially, we checked. Yeah, the judges say that it's still fucking insane to think that they're the same thing at all. That's what they did too. It was like, what are you gonna do when you're in there? Like they let you in this far. You think that they're gonna let you like actually touch the senators? They will fucking shoot you very quickly if that happens. Like you will die if you try to touch the senators. You have to know that. But it's funny that they could do that without guns and they weren't even afraid. You know what I mean? Because nothing happened. They were in the middle of the lobby fist fighting the cops, and the cops were like, fuck it. But I think, honestly, that the cops left to get riot gear. Not even kidding. I think all the cops were already there, and they had to just come back with riot gear. But they didn't really use it.
So the president, as much as this specific lawsuit is most likely not going to bear anything, it just further proves that the president refuses to give up. And he asked for an expedited appeals response, which should be submitted by tomorrow, I guess, or by today, by the time you guys are watching this video.
See, he did like he edits his sentences. You can hear in these videos, he has like cuts like this, like in between every other word because he's editing. But he does this shit where he leaves in, tomorrow, or silly me, today, as if it was an accident. Why is he doing that? Why is he making it so obvious to everybody who's not paying attention that he's intending to make this seem like, maybe I'm reading too much into it because I have a very high regard for the level of insidiousness this guy is capable of. He's very good at what he does. I'll give him that. So maybe I'm like leading some chess moves where there ought be none, but it's strange to me. It's weird, and I noticed it.
Video, and we'll just have to see exactly where it leads. But the president continues to make moves, and like I told you guys,
he's not making moves though. That's my other favorite perspective. He's not going to give up. Like, sometimes that's not a good thing. You know? Sometimes that's a dumb idea. This is one of those times. Cutting your losses is a thing. Also, something that people who like are good with money, they're really typically are really good at cutting their losses. Sometimes they're too good at cutting their losses, you see. It's weird that Trump is so bad at it. He doesn't even understand what it means. Because unless he decides that it's a loss, it's not a loss. Unless the loss benefits him and then he can leverage it for something else, which he can't do with this. It's weird, huh?
Guys absolutely refuses to give up. And here's another move that the president's making. President Trump replaces U.S. attorney in Atlanta with another Trump-appointed prosecutor after young B.J. Pak abruptly resigns. And so there's a lot of speculation as to what exactly this may mean with a U.S. attorney, which apparently is now a Trump loyalist, being placed in Atlanta. And we now have Senator Ted Cruz specifically saying on the
making moves to the back nine
record that he will,
if you know what I'm saying,
object Arizona's Electoral College votes on Wednesday when Congress convenes to certify the 2020 election. And so you can tell they're targeting very specific states, which...
Yeah, and you think that's the mark of the genius of him, huh? Yeah. He thinks that's like the galaxy brain play. Curious. Because it isn't. Just like, I might add, the galaxy brain play of trying not to certify these votes, which would also mean the ballots that included senators and shit would feasibly have to be taken back too. And curiously, the Democrats, I mean, they ended up winning the Georgia runoff, but other than that, they lost a little bit in the House. I mean, they didn't lose the majority, but they lost. You know, the more votes you have over majority, the easier it is to assure. I guess the easier the math is. But that's also not a good strategy for them. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It's 7D chess, right? So here it is. No, I figured it out. I got it. So here's the genius of Trump, right? They all knew. The Democrats knew, not the genius of Trump, genius of the Democrats. They all knew that the election would be challenged. They thought that it would work when it got challenged. So they also rigged for the Republicans to win the Senate and House races that they won, so that when the presidential election got overturned, then they didn't win either, right? Or maybe they did all the Republicans on the lower ticket to protect so that it wouldn't get overturned. I'd be surprised if any of them could even think that far into the future, but if you hear that theory from now on, just know that I started it.
Which will put the whole election into question.
Not that I want credit for conspiracy theories.
Which is a surprise to pretty much no one. And then we have Mitch McConnell coming out and saying, McConnell to top GOP colleagues, I won't judge anybody for their decisions.
He's good. McConnell to top GOP colleagues, you say? That would have been way fucking cooler than what happened today if we got to see. If we were going to see some kind of grotesque shit on TV, that would have been way better.
Decision in
maybe
Electoral College certification. And the question is over here, what game is McConnell playing? Of course, a political one. Whenever
Mitch McConnell playing political games? No fucking way, dude.
Mitch does something, you know, there's a couple different layers to where he's coming from, and I'd have to say this layer is probably a PR move screaming, please don't primary me. And speaking of primarying, from Josh Kaplan on Twitter, it says, Senator Tim Scott, Republican from South Carolina, opposes objecting to Electoral College certification. And this is an absolute surprise to no one, considering Tim Scott's connection to Mitch McConnell as well, but it is a...
What? Dude.
Huge disappointment. And we're already seeing an effort now to go after Senator Tim Scott and primary him in the 2022 election. I think that one's going to be a little bit difficult considering Tim Scott's reputation, charisma, and connection to voters, but it continues to happen.
It's fucking crazy to me, man. It's like people forget what an election is. They will say in the same sentence shit about it being the voice of the people and then being like, yeah, but the Democrats stole the people's brains or whatever. They brainwashed them, you see. So it's also not fair. Can you prove it? Absolutely not. Why should I believe you? Dude, trust me.
You are at a direct threat of primary challenge depending on what you do on January 6th. We just covered the story of President Donald Trump saying that he will himself campaign in Georgia against Brian Kemp, headed in.
How normal and acceptable will that be? Do you think Brian Kemp wants Trump to campaign against him now so that like even Democrats might say like vote for the fucking Republican ticket to save themselves from Trump supporters candidate? Like, yeah, like that's who's gonna be at these rallies that Trump is gonna campaign for these fucking politicians at, dude, or campaign against them. Like his base he's distilling it into the craziest of the craziest people in the country. Unfortunately, it's still a really big fucking number, but like he still is managing to shake thousands of them off of the tree every single time that some wackadoo shit like this goes down. Like they running people off the road and like burning, like their little frat is like they're like MAGA's younger brother, which is what I'm gonna call fucking Proud Boys. They're out like stirring up a bunch of shit that MAGA knows you probably shouldn't do, but they're like young and stupid and they let them get away with it. But like the leader get arrested for fucking bragging about destroying property for a church, a historically black church, I'll add. Not that they were smart enough to even realize that, but I feel like they just see that as like a hazing even. And like you look at the timeline condensed up until now, there's a lot less people left supporting Trump than there were. And I mean, it looked like a whole lot of people today, but those were people from like all over the country. You know how I know there was a lot of people talking about going to the rally is because there was a fucking TikTok video where somebody was addressing the rumor that MapQuest. Damn, I wish I would have saved the video. That MapQuest that they were using. I'm quoting it because I refuse to believe people still use it. I can only assume they printed it out on sheets of paper and fucking carried it in the car with them like a 90-year-old. They were talking. There was a rumor going around social media that MapQuest wasn't, and this is how stupid they are. I'm sorry. I need to say it, but every time I start the sentence, my brain's like, hey, dude, they're fucking so dumb. There was a rumor going around that MapQuest wouldn't let you plot a route to Washington, D.C. As normal and sane as that is, what it means is that there was an echo chamber effect, and that's how that got started as a rumor. That echo chamber effect being a bunch of people talking about going to DC on social media. So I'm sure that most of the people there, or like a good portion of the people there, were not from DC. They were from all over the fucking place. Which I guess, yeah, there was a dude flying, waving around the Florida flag. Yeah, interesting. So anyway, that was just a bit of like, I don't know. Yeah, for real. I'll try to find the video and like tweet it or something. It was on TikTok. It was some dude that was antagonizing everybody in the comments of one of my posts. So I was like making responses to him, and he just kept saying absolutely dumb shit. So I blocked him.
Election.
So I can probably look it up that way.
Bridge, once we're in 2022, headed towards the midterms, Donald Trump, holding the grudges that we know he holds,
it's
will
absurd.
Be actively out there campaigning against those who refuse to stand up. And this is...
Oh, no, they don't use... I forgot. How silly of me. I'm so stupid. The MAGA folks don't use the Google. I don't know if you know this or not, but Google's rigged. Okay, Sweaty? It's actually rigged. So don't come at me with any argument that you got from Google. You might as well just make something up. That's how search engines work. I know it because somebody in my Facebook group called Patriot Revival Protection Services Protection of America, Georgia. There's somebody there that's used to work for the FBI. They proved it by posting pictures of a car at night from a parking lot somewhere that had out-of-state plates, and we all believed and agreed that it was Antifa. So, I mean, you tell me somebody who isn't an ex-super spy from the FBI that could do that. Anyway, they told me how Google's rigged. Google is fake news. The people at Google write everything that you find on Google, and they write it when it's waiting, and you type your search result in, or you type your search in, and it autofills. That's somebody, they're writing it as you go so that they can exactly write the fake stuff. So my point is, unless you're searching on DuckDuckGo and using MapQuest, you are not a real patriot.
is really important to me. Like I told you guys, it's not about voter issues, it's not about fraud, it's not about any of that. I honestly think that type of thinking, that type of focus, making that your focal point, not only gives ammo to the left, it makes you seem as if you're some sort of Looney Tune caricature of what a...
No, that's not the part that's making everybody think you're a Looney Tune. I'm sorry, did you say caricature? Maybe, I don't know, maybe English isn't their first language, but it's caricature.
Republican is, but I think it's not the main issue. The main issue has to be and should always be the media and big tech. And this is something that Republicans, especially the GOP establishment, have pretended to go after, but every single...
No, you fucking loser. They go after it and they bounce off of it like so many flies off a window pane. They think that they see the light and they just bonk, and then they forget 5 seconds later. Because, funnily enough, they get all of their ideas about social media from social media. Would you believe it? They also participate in echo chambers on Twitter. You know? It's weird how that works. It's also weird how you are only talking about it as a very highly viewed fucking person on YouTube. Also, you bring up points from like Tucker Carlson, the largest audience having motherfucker on TV for that slot and that content, who mentions it literally every day that he's on, you see. So, I mean, if they really wanted to silence you, they probably would, but, like, the rest of us are tired of hearing about it because we always hear about it. And that kind of means that your whole crying about being censored is absolute bullshit. So, I mean, I don't know.
Single time, when push comes to shove, they prove time and time again that they have little baby teeth instead of...
Dude. I fucking, dude, what? I don't want to hear what the next thing is. I don't want to hear what it is. Yeah, that shit was funny as hell. I mean, most of it was. Some of it was a little bit like Saturday Night Live cringy, but like, that's where I got that bit from. Lisa Kudrow's joke is fucking great. She's like, I said it on Tucker Carlson twice. That was good. I don't want to know what I only want to know that he said that they have little baby teeth.
And this is something that Republicans, especially the GOP establishment, have pretended to go after, but every single time, when push comes to shove, they prove time and time again that they have little baby teeth and...
Like, sir, I'm sorry, what is the accusation? I'm not even a cop. I don't know why I'm humoring this. I'm actually just, this is a Wendy's. But I mean, proceed. He's like, they time and time again, they prove that they just got little tiny teeth. They can't really actually chew their vegetables. So I got to get them these mulched up puree to feed them. And then I got to chew it up first still anyway. Like a baby bird. And it's bullshit. All right, man. Cool. I'm sorry that bothers you so much, I guess. Whatever makes you happy.
Instead of fangs. Of course, most recently...
Are they supposed to have fangs? Wait, did I miss something? Is the Constitution... Wait. Is Life a Nicolas Cage movie released on Shudder? Where... Is it called, like, Vampire Congress? Where they're supposed to have fangs? What the fuck do you mean? Are they supposed to be wolves, maybe? I don't know. Wolves generally wouldn't... A wolf probably wouldn't make it in Congress, you see. Like, if we were doing Animal Kingdom analogies and shit. Nobody in Congress has fangs, you fucking dunce. That's why they're in Congress. That's why they're politicians. And if you thought that Jim Jordan had fangs ever, you maybe should probably look up his controversy. Where he definitely didn't... Jim Jordan definitely had baby teeth when it came to the sexual abuse allegations at his college. For the wrestling team at that college. In his role, where he allegedly definitely knew about it and didn't fucking say anything. You want to talk about baby teeth? Jim Jordan's baby teeth. Big baby teeth energy on Jim Jordan.
Recently overriding Trump's veto on the National Defense Bill and once again refusing to do anything.
Maybe they have both. They have baby fangs. Like cat teeth.
About Section 230. The GOP stopped President Trump from doing anything in relation to healthcare in 2017, and now in 2020
No, they didn't. he just didn't put forward any. He literally never put anything forward for them to do, you see.
Using to do anything about Section 230 and protecting the First Amendment on the internet and, of course, on social media. The GOP is part of
Protecting the First Amendment. By giving companies a bigger incentive to censor you, he's protecting the First Amendment. Making companies liable for what the people on their platform say, that's not gonna protect your right to say whatever you want. It's gonna make it worse.
Of taking back power from Trump in the 2020 election. They are not your friends. They want Joe Biden as the president. They work for Google. They work for corporate media outlets.
He's been watching Tucker Carlson. He's definitely been watching Tucker Carlson. They work for Google Media. What did he say? Is that what he said? Hold on.
Back power from Trump in the 2020 election. They are not your friends. They want Joe Biden as the president. They work for Google. They work for...
Yeah, they work for Google. They don't. Not even a little bit. Not even kind of. But Tucker Carlson went on this big crazy fucking rant the other day for PragerU or Turning Point USA, where he talked about how maybe, I thought to myself, maybe the left, maybe they're not actually about defunding the police. Maybe they don't actually want justice. Maybe they're being used like a puppet by big tech. Like he's literally trying to conflate the left and corporate companies, large companies, the most successful of which. And he's convinced them, the people that were listening to him, that in fact, socialism is happening now already for rich people, but also the left. I think somehow. The people that are, so that way he's inoculating his audience against the truth. When the left calls for socialism, the poison that he has put in their brains fires their synapses for them and is like, no, you're just saying that because you want to do the thing that's the bad socialism where you take all of my money for you. And Google says, here, Antifa, you can have all of Patriots' money because we hate America. And we want to ruin it, even though we fucking live here also. I don't know. It was kind of hard to follow. I did a video on it, and I can't download it. I mean, I can't edit it, because when I download it, it gets all shit crusted from Twitch doing something stupid, so I'm going to try to find a way to publish it. But yeah, Tucker Carlson is, in fact, the world's best grifter. He's very fucking good at it.
For corporate media outlets. They want a puppet in the Oval Office more than anything else. And in every single country that you can think of off the top of your head,
Yeah,
that
no, we don't.
means
Democrats don't have jobs. They all live in their mom's basement. But, I mean, they're also paid by Google, so that's a job. But for some reason, they don't have to pay taxes on that, I guess. I don't know. We didn't go over that in the meeting. Yeah, that's really the key. They're going to get Antifa on tax fraud, is what it's going to come down to. They won't even fucking charge them with all the terrorism stuff. They're just going to get them for tax fraud. Just Antifa as an organization.
Democracy, but has phony elections every single year. Propaganda outlets and state-controlled media is at the core of creating those outcomes. If you think for a second that the media, the left-wing media, which is essentially the media, they're synonymous, mixed in with the control of algorithm, the control of information. If you think for a second that they didn't sway potentially 10 million
oh no, dude. Oh no.
votes over the 2020 election, you are confused. That is a battle that is far greater a calling than anything in the 2020 election. This is
oh no. I can't cover his videos anymore. The dude is like legitimately starting to slip into some really like unreality. Ah, man. I feel like that's even too far for a grift. I think he believes his own shit. That sucks, man. That fucking sucks. I remember being into conspiracy theories a few years ago. It was not a good time of my in my life, to be sure, but it was like, fuck, dude. I remember the desperation I felt when I was convinced that certain things in reality were sort of not the way that they are. So he's basically on the path now where he's saying at the end of the videos, he's tying everything together to basically say what Tucker Carlson said, but like crazier. I'll run it back even.
Has phony elections every single year. The president, they work for Google, they work for corporate media outlets.
He's talking about Republicans.
They want a puppet in the Oval Office more than anything else. And in every single country that you can think of off the top of your head that feigns democracy but has phony elections every single year, propaganda outlets and state-controlled media is at the core of creating those outcomes. If you think for a second that the media, the left-wing media, which is essentially the media, they're synonymous, mixed in with the control of algorithm, the control of information, if you think for a second that they didn't sway potentially 10 million votes over the 2020 election,
you hate to see it. Because what's extra fucked up about this is that we would agree on the surface, me and old Junkrat or Punkrat here, we would agree that the algorithm is it has been sort of ignored for its ability to radicalize people. But the evidence empirically shows that it is way, way more successful at radicalizing people initially to the right. And even with human intervention at Facebook, where they removed like warning strikes on right-wing pages that shouldn't have been removed because it was a warning for a violation of like the terms of service or community guidelines, they removed the strike, the warning. And they also like throttled content from like Mother Jones being like a left-wing site. Like, the algorithm is convincing these people that the algorithm is convincing everyone else. There's a fake reality. It's fucking pretty bleak, if I'm being honest. But that's what's going on. Fucking, they all think this because they come to these determinations in fucking Facebook groups. Or Twitter, or whatever. Like, that's where they get these ideas from. And that's where they get amplified and shit, is in echo chambers. Which is what algorithms take advantage of, you see. So yeah. That sucks, man. It sucks when anybody gets sucked into a vortex like that. But it's pretty bad when it's like the one that there's clearly no coming back from. Because those fucking idiots were storming the Capitol over this shit today. I don't know, man. There doesn't really seem to be a way back up that slope. It seems pretty hard to come back. But I mean, I don't know, I guess. What can you fucking do? That's a bummer, dude. The comments on here are fucking awesome. This is the most American thing I've ever seen. It is our duty to uphold the Constitution and freedom when government won't. Yeah, well, you thought, didn't you? The sleeping giant is being woken. Government must fear we the people. Today marks the day we'll tell our grandkids about. You're right, but not the way you think, Mr. Daniel Ego. The government must fear we the people. But you made them scared of the wrong thing, you see. You made them scared of the wrong thing. You goofed. You beefed it, friend. Points for conviction, but yeah, you fucked up. You scared even the only senators you still had on your side away from your side. Now they are against you. So